G'day DUSSC members, I'm Michael Ford and today I'm here at Kieser Training Geelong with Head Physio Richard Wallace, who's going to talk a bit about his career and past achievements. How are you, Richard?
Yeah, good, thanks Michael.
Great.
Yeah,
good. So to start us off, could you tell us a bit about your prior education and work experiences?
Yeah, so I did a Bachelor of Physio at Melbourne University. Finished that in 2002. Then I worked for a few years. I did a range of different courses in professional development, and eventually did a Masters in Sports Physio at La Trobe University. So I finished that in 2008. So that's basically my formal qualification.
Excellent. So you had a mix of sort of clinical and sporting roles throughout your career?
Yeah, so started out in private practice and hospital setting as a physio.
Right.
And that's a good start. You get a good broad range of patients, and had to deal with some local athletes and people early on in my career.
Okay.
And then got a lucky break to be able to go and work at the Bells Beach surf event.
Excellent.
So I started that in 2004. And that was my first taste of real professional sport. And that was a great experience working with those elite athletes. I did that for 6 years after that. But that, yeah, fantastic experience. And then along the way working in local clubs, football and rugby clubs, and also private clinics.
Okay, great.
And eventually got a job at the AFL, in the AFL Western Bulldogs for 3 years. And that was obviously the highest level I've worked at.
Yeah, excellent. Would you say you prefer those sporting environments as opposed to the clinical?
Yes and no. I mean, at the time that was exactly what I wanted to do. At the moment though, very content in this environment. It's a really good, a good mix of physio and rehab and strength conditioning. We have a state-of-the-art gym, which is as close as I've seen available to the public outside of elite sport. And so it's a really satisfying environment to work in here.
Great. Excellent. As the head physio here at Kieser Training, could you tell us a bit more about your role and day-to-day tasks?
Yeah, so my role, first and foremost, is to get good outcomes for clients in here. And that involves helping the rest of the staff, mentoring them, helping them work to the best of their abilities, and managing them in their day-to-day tasks. Also treating as a physio, so I still treat around 50 people a week. So it's a good mix. And within that treatment of clients, it could be any sort of injury that walks in the door. Some of them may need some physio like any other private practice. Others have a mix of physio and rehab. And others are more assessment to start a strength conditioning program in our gym.
Okay, excellent. So it's quite a mix day to day really for you.
Good mix, good variety. Keeps me interested.
Could you tell us about the industry and the current opportunities available to sort of physio students or looking to undertake physio?
Yeah, so it's a growing industry. The health industry as a whole is a growing industry. There's a lot of different therapy courses available out there at the moment, and as well as exercise opportunities, working in exercise as a field. So there's a lot of opportunity. There's a growing awareness in the community about the importance of health and what's available to look after yourself to feel your best. Professional sport has come a long way over the years, and certainly the public is now becoming more aware of what's available to them as well. So it's a growing industry, but it also means there's a lot more people getting into that industry. So you have to really try and soak up as much knowledge as you can. Try and prepare yourself as best you can to work in your chosen field. And then once you've chosen where you want to work in, you need to really work as hard as you can to set yourself above the rest, because it is a competitive industry at the moment.
That's it.
So you just have to try and learn as much as you can and be the best practitioner or exercise scientist as you can.
So Rich, in your experience, what is the importance of collaborating with exercise physiologists in the workplace, and what roles do they typically undertake?
Yeah, so an exercise physiologist typically has a really good knowledge of what's involved for specific medical conditions and how to safely and effectively exercise with those conditions. And so we have Alana here, our exercise physiologist, who works a lot with patients who have diabetes or osteoporosis or heart conditions. Okay. And so she knows how to very specifically assess those patients, doing specific objective measures, doing medical-based assessments like blood pressure and oxygen saturation levels, blood glucose levels, and has an ability to monitor those patients throughout an exercise session. So that really means that those patients with those conditions will be in really good, safe hands, and will be getting the most out of their exercise programs.
Right.
So it's just a good point of referral for someone who comes in with those conditions.
So it's a pre-screen prior to exercise.
Yeah, and often Alana gets specific referrals from GPs. Now that she's built a bit of a profile and people understand exactly how she can help people, she's getting direct referrals herself.
Yeah, excellent. So what would you say are the most rewarding aspects of your role here at Kieser?
Yeah, many and varied. I mean, as a physio, it's a great place to work because we get really good outcomes for people. With the equipment we have, it's state-of-the-art strength equipment, which is very effective at strengthening specific muscles and isolating the correct muscle groups that should be working for certain movements. So that can really work well for anyone who's had an injury, but also people who are just deconditioned or who want to get more out of their exercise, because you can train the correct muscles to work with this equipment, which will then make those muscles work in everyday activity or sports or whatever you want to do. And for someone who's injured, quite often a muscle will be inhibited and switched off. And so some of our equipment we have will rehabilitate those muscles. So with a back injury, you have a reduction in deep spinal stability muscles called the multifidus. They stop working, they get weak and they waste away until you intervene with a strength program. And so one of our pieces of equipment specifically activates those multifidus muscles, gets them working again, which will, with most people, reduce their pain, improve their function and prevent another re-injury. So it's really satisfying to work. You see great results. I have a lot of people who've tried lots of other modalities and things, but not getting anywhere. They might have had pain for 20 years. And after just a few months of training with us, they're saying they've felt better than they have in years. And that's really satisfying to help people. So as a physio, it's very, very enjoyable. We meet lots of different people every day. You never know what's going to walk in the door next, what injury you need to manage. That makes it exciting.
Absolutely.
And then I guess on the other side of things, managing staff, you're helping people grow and develop, helping people learn and creating a really good team to work in.
Great. Is there anything more you'd like to say about the Kieser training methods or what you guys have to offer?
Quite a bit. It is a pretty unique concept to Australia. It's very popular in Europe. It's new to Australia, but in Europe there's 120 centres in Germany alone. All the equipment's designed and engineered in Switzerland, so it's a really high-level gym equipment. Some traditional pieces of gym equipment as well as some very unique pieces. So our model here is that anyone who comes into Kieser sees a physio first and gets assessed, and from that you can direct someone into either one of two streams. First might be a course of physiotherapy, which may include some treatment or some one-on-one rehab. The other stream is PST or preventative strength therapy, where they can basically start an independent gym program initially under the guidance of an exercise scientist. And then the first of those programs, physio could then progress into that independent training.
So Richard, what would you say your career highlights would have been?
So been pretty lucky in where I've worked over the years. I've had some great mentors and worked with some great physios who really helped me develop and given me opportunities as well along the way.
Okay.
So I'm very thankful to them, but I've been lucky enough to work in professional surfing and worked with some of the stars there, like Nick Fanning and Kelly Slater.
Wow.
I think one of my career highlights will be working closely with Kelly Slater here at Bells in 2010 when he broke his foot.
Yep.
And I was able to treat him and strap his foot in a certain way that he could surf pretty comfortably. And he ended up winning the event. And so he gave me a signed surfboard saying thanks very much, and that was a really pretty special time as a physio to do that. As well as working with Geelong in Hawaii. That was tremendous time, just being able to surf with those young stars. Also working in Colorado, with some of the ex-game athletes, professional skiers and snowboarders, and watching them do some crazy moves in the half pipe. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, incredible experiences.
And then in AFL, working, helping players come back from serious injuries and watching them progress day in, day out, all the way back to return to play. I mean, that was really, really interesting and satisfying as well, helping players get back to performing at their best.
Well, thanks very much, Richard. It's been great to hear from you and about your career and academic pathway. And look forward to catching up with you soon.
Terrific.
Cheers.
No worries.